I've noticed over the years that for a lot of folks who go to a yoga class and you get to the end with the seated stretches and you're sitting with your legs crossed and trying to get your knees to open up, if your knees stay up pretty high and they don't flop all the way open like the teachers, it feels like some sort of moral failing. And it is not a moral failing or a lack of flexibility, that nebulous term. For the most part, that is dictated by the structure of the pelvis. The bones of the pelvis come together in a certain way that form the cup of the hip socket and dictate what direction the socket is oriented, which will then dictate where the thigh bone can go in a normal range of motion in a hip joint. And so instead of suffering on the floor trying to jam your knees toward the ground, go ahead and have a seat in a chair. Feel your sit bones underneath you. You always want to be sure that you're sitting on the sit bones. That's why we call them that, and not dumped back on the tailbone. The tailbone does not like to be sat upon. So you're up tall on the sit bones, and then cross one ankle over the other knee and support your knee up kind of high. We're not trying to open it up just yet. Now let's put some flex in this ankle because that's going to protect the knee as we try to mobilize the hips. We got some ankle flex, and then we're just going to relax with no preconceived notions or judgments and let the weight of the leg fall open. And it goes where it goes. And we're still just up tall on our sit bones. We're breathing. We're keeping that little bit of flex in the ankle. And then from within the hip, let's internally rotate, so we're floating the thigh bone up a little, and then again, just let it fall, no force. Do that a few times, mobilize in, and then relax out. And then after doing that one more time, so we're on purpose turning in, now relax it out, but then on purpose, not with your arm, but internally, just see if we can rotate the thigh bone out and press the knee open. And doing that and sitting really tall, both of those things at once, that might feel like a stretch. If it doesn't feel like a stretch, let's keep the spine long. We're not going to collapse and round, but just think of tipping forward on the sits bones as far as possible, and that will definitely get you a stretch. So you might just take a few breaths there. And then let's catch the wave of an inhale to float back up to vertical and uncross. All right, find center again, in case we got a little shifted there. We're up tall, and we're gonna start when we first cross, let the knee be up high, support it there, tall on the sit bones, find your ankle flex, and then keep the sit bones, keep the ankle flex, and relax at the hip, and just let the leg be so heavy. Give that a few breaths to really develop. And then again, from inside the hip, little bit of spin of the thigh bone in, and then relax and allow. Gravity is here working on your whole leg, and again, it goes where it goes. That is structure. A little bit in. And even if you have a big difference between the two sides, that can still be structure, because most of us have some asymmetry in our structure because of whatever, largely because of one-sided habits throughout a lifetime. So same thing, we're not going to decide that there's some problem with a hip if it doesn't naturally go as far. We're going to let it be what it is. And now internally, think of mashing that knee down toward the mat, not pushing on it, just generating it internally from the hip. Maybe that's a stretch. And if not, let's feel the whole bowl of the pelvis tipping forward, getting to the front of those sitting bones while the knee is still pressing itself toward the ground, while the ankle is still flexing, and we're breathing. The to-do list is long. And we can just follow the next inhale up out of there. And we can feel a lot better about ourselves knowing that that's our structure and not a moral failing.